Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we are continuing with the Edge Browser Control Series, building a web browser in your Access database. Today in part 9, I'm going to teach you how to fill out forms. You ever find forms on the web that you'd like to just be able to click a button and fill them in? Well, that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. And of course, this is part 9 of a series, so if you haven't watched parts 1 through 8 yet, go watch those and come on back. What are you doing here? All right, in the last video, I showed you how to read the text out of a page. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to post data to a form on a web page. Now, this works best if you control the form too, if it's on your own website. All right, for example, I put together one here on my PC resale page. You go to links, and then I've got the customer service form. All right, this is something I control. I can put stuff in here. I can build this the way I want. Now, this doesn't mean you can't do it with any form on the web, but it's got to be formatted properly. I'm going to show you how to figure out if it's formatted properly in this video. Now, again, this will work for a lot of forms, but if you've got a bank website, PayPal, something really high tech, it might not allow this because it can have this, these features can be locked down to prevent you from doing this, but it should work most of the time. This is very handy, especially if you've got a website and you've got your users, working with your Access database and you want them to be able to submit information via your own website. And you can build the form here, and then you can build the database and they can submit, customer info, whatever, right out of your Access database. So there's lots of things you can do with this. All right, so let's make a button over here to fill in this form. Now, if you're not familiar with HTML, might be a little difficult for you. So this definitely helps if you have a little bit of HTML background and a little bit of JavaScript background. Again, I've got an HTML 101 course on my website. It's really old, but it teaches you all the basics. If you take a look at any page in your browser, right-click on it, go to View Page Source. It'll show you the HTML behind that page. And you can see here's a form, right? And what we're looking for are the controls in that form. Here's input name, your name, right? There it is. That's my your name. Here's the email address field, okay? Here's the subject field. And what you're looking for is this ID right there. Okay, we got your name, and the ID is your name. So we can use that to push a value into that web form, into that field from our Access database. Okay? So let's edit our form. Again, I'll make some more room here. Let's shrink this down even more. All right, get down there. Come on. All right, you guys move down. All right, more buttons. Copy this guy, paste, and we'll call you fill out form. Okay, and fill out. And again, I'm just showing you the basics here. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. Use the rest of your Access knowledge that I've taught you and apply it however you want. If you want to make a button to take the customer data and submit it to a form, that's all on you. I'm just showing you the basics here. All right, so right-click, build event, bring up our code builder. Okay, here we are. And now we're going to say wb.execute JavaScript, just like we've done before. And the command is going to be, whoops, ready? Document dot get element by ID. All right, again, capitalization is important. It's capital E, capital B, capital I. Get element by ID. Open parentheses, single quote, and then the name of the field, your name, like that. Close it up. Dot value equals, and then in single quotes again, whatever you want the name to be. So I'll put in here James T. Kirk, like that. Close up our quotes and parenthesis, and there you go. All right, that's the command. That's the field name with the ID. Okay, and then in here is what you put what you want to send to the form. And you could put your own field name in here, right? You could do something like this, if that's a field on your form, whatever. Okay? All right, let's save it. Again, I'm just showing you the basics here. All right, debug compile, make sure everything compiles good. Come over here. Let's go back to that form. Open it up, pcresell.net, go to links, go to the customer service form. Now, these are just some default values that pop in there because of my browser, right? But as soon as I hit fill out form, boom, look at that. James T. Kirk goes in the name field. See that? Okay. Let's do the email. Let's go back to the source of the page. All right, email's right here, and the ID is email. So same thing. All right, we'll just copy this command here, put it next, and we'll change email, and the value will be Jimmy1701 at amacron.com. Save it. Come back over here, fill out the form, click, and there we go. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? I also want to mention this time, instead of looking at the HTML source, there's another way that you can view the elements on the page, and that's by inspecting. If you right-click on any field or any object in the page and go to inspect, it brings up the inspector, this thing. Okay, now, with the Edge control, there is a bug. The first time you open up the inspector, it doesn't go to the right control. But the second time you do it, like if I right-click now and go to inspect, it'll put you on that element. See right there. And you can see all the details. This is basically just a fancy way of looking at the HTML source code. Right? I grew up looking at this stuff, so I'm just used to this. But if you like the inspect, there it is. But just be aware of that bug. And they said that's supposed to be fixed in an upcoming version, but it's not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to close this. What about the next item? What about the subject? Let's try the subject. All right, subject's next. Let's come back over here. Let's go back to our code. Let's copy this and paste it. And we'll say subject. And we'll say captain's log. All right, start 8, whatever, 8765.2. All right, save it. Come back to our database, click the button. And nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? What's going on here? Let's double check our name. All right, ID is subject. Okay, all right, let's look at the HTML. And input name equals subject. Oh, look at that. Oh. Whoever built this page, in this case me, didn't put an ID. Now, you don't have to put an ID on a control for it to work. As long as it's got a name, then whatever page is accepting it, in this case, custserve.asp, right? We'll just work off that name. You don't have to have an ID. An ID is useful for JavaScript to be able to locate that control, but it's not required. And you'll find a lot of pages online don't have IDs for their controls. So what do? Well, you could try to find the object by name, but it's a little trickier because you have to actually look at an elements array, okay? Because you could have multiple objects on this page named subject. Usually you don't, but you could. And it's all how they built the page. So like I said, this works best if this is a website you control. If not, you might have to deal with, whatever the developers did. So let's see how we can find that subject. Now, this is an easy page. This is the entirety of the HTML right here. So we can be pretty sure there's nothing else called subject on this page. All right, but let me show you how to get it now. Come back over here. Instead of getElementById, all right, it's getElements, plural, by name. N-A-M-E. All right, now this is going to return an array. So you have to look at an individual element of that array by putting it in brackets over here. The first one is 0. So in brackets, put 0. All right, so it's going to look at the entire elements of objects on that page. Find the first one named subject, right? Look at all the objects named subject. Give me the first one. That's 0. If there happen to be 2, then you'll have to get the second one, which is 1. It's a 0-based array. Okay? Since I built this page, I know this is going to work. And I did this intentionally. Can you tell? I do this kind of stuff to teach you things. But now, click the button. Boom. And there's your captain's log, start date, whatever. Okay? So keep that in mind. If the object on the page doesn't have an ID, you'll have to find it using the name array. All right, what's next? It's this text area here where you put your notes, right? And that is going to be this text area. All right, now this one's got a name and an ID, so we can use the ID for this one. All right, this one's called comments. So we'll come back here. If you got the ID, use the ID by all means. All right, come back over here. Boom. Change this to comments. And put in the value, right? Klingons are, I've spelled Klingons wrong. Klingons are attacking. Red alert, whatever. Okay, come back over here, hit the button, there you go. Now, how do you actually submit this form? Well, you can just click on the button right there if you want to, right? Okay, it's been submitted. Let me back up though. If you want to have your VB code submit this, in other words, you want to load the page, fill out all the information in the form, and then submit it automatically, yeah, sure, you can do that too. All right, you can either make it part of this button here, or we can make a separate button for it. Let's make a separate button for it. All right, copy, paste, and I'll say submit. And slide you up next to this guy. All right, open it up, submit button. And yes, this is going to be different for every form you have to deal with online. Again, unless you control these yourself. All right, there's no way around it. Every website's differently. I tried doing this with a bunch, like my bank site, PayPal site. It's possible, but it's not. It's a lot of work. It's more work than it's worth most of the time. A lot of these websites, especially bank sites, have specifically developed their sites so you can't do this kind of stuff. So this is handy for like if you want to go to like one of your vendors' websites and like submit a requisition form, or you want to pull down some of their product information or that kind of stuff. It's not for anything super secure. All right, how do we submit this guy? Well, again, let's take a look at the HTML. Find the submit button. It's right down here. Okay, now I programmed this guy with a submit, and it looks like there's a bug in my HTML right there, but it's working. There shouldn't be a space. There should be a space between ID and style, but it's not affecting it at all, so it still works. There, I fixed it. Like I said, this works best if you control the website. Okay? All right, so we need to find the button with the ID of submit. Okay? So again, it's going to be very similar to what we did before. In fact, I'm going to copy one of these guys here, because a lot of it's the same. All right, paste it in there. We're going to document getElementById submit. Now we're not setting a value. What are we doing? We're clicking the button. So dot click, open, close parentheses. Save it. Close it. Go back out here. Close this. Open it back up again. Go to PC Resale, links, customer service form, fill out the form, and submit. And there you go. Now, there are different ways you might have to submit the form too. For example, this might not have an ID. Okay, I have an ID in mind. You might have to find it by name, like I showed you before. Okay, it might not have a name or an ID. All right, as long as it's got a type equals submit, that's all you need for the button. So you might have to locate the form by name, or even by ID, or even not. You might just need to locate the form and submit the form. All right, this form is called cust_serve. So another way you could submit this form would be, I'm going to leave this one in here, but I'm going to rem it out so the gold members have this code. All right. Another way you could do this is to find the form called cust_serve and .submit it. That's submitting the form. All right. Save it. Come back over here. Let's go back to the form. Fill out the form. Submit. That works too. Okay. In fact, your form might not have a name or an ID. I've seen that too. It could just be form method equals post, action equals whatever, without a name or an ID. In that case, you can find the form in the array of forms numerically. Okay, and that looks like this. Again, I'll rem this out. And this is going to be very similar code. Again, learn your JavaScript if you want to do a lot of this. This is going to be document dot forms 0, or whatever number it is, dot submit. That's saying find the first form on the page and submit it. Now be careful, because a lot of websites, including mine, have multiple forms on the page even though it doesn't look like it. All right, here's my customer service contact form. Here's a form right here, right? It's not the first form on the page. This is. There's a little search box up here. This is a form. That's form 0. This guy would be form 1. So you got to look at the HTML and figure out which is which. Okay, but in our case, document.forms0 submit, you should be able to work with that. So let's save it. And again, I'll back up to the form, fill it out, and then submit. And there it goes. Okay. Now, if you like this stuff, if you like working with websites and you want to develop your own forms on your website and have, your customers or employees, whatever, can submit stuff, whether it's through your Access database or right in your web browser. I do cover all of this in my ASP courses. I got a full course on it. And this is what the HTML behind the form page looks like, right? And then to accept this stuff, The other form that it goes to is customerservice.asp, which is this guy. Where are you? There it is. See? This is ASP right here. Everything between this tag and this tag is ASP, and it says your name equals request your name. It's requesting it from whatever page called this one. It could be a form. You could get it off the query string, right, in the browser. And then this just displays the information that was submitted. But in here, you could send this to an Access database. You could send it to SQL Server, store it, do whatever you want with it, right? And I cover how to do that in my ASP course, right? Active server pages, ASP. I got lots of ASP lessons. I cover, here they are, all kinds of stuff. Dealing with SQL, setting up a database, connecting access to it, connecting it to SQL Server. I got a whole separate SQL Server seminar. So if you want to do stuff between Access and your website, this is the way to do it. I know a lot of people say ASP is old. Yeah, it's old. It's been around for a long time, but you know what? It's rock solid and it's bulletproof. I love ASP. My website still runs on classic ASP. Yeah, there's a newer ASP.NET, but most sites don't even need all the new features that are in ASP.NET. I could talk about it for hours, but ASP is just perfect for 99% of websites. And of course, ASP 101 is free. Check it out. I'll put a link down below. But that is going to be your tech help video for today. This is part 9. We're winding down, people. Got a couple more things to show you. And then that's going to be it for the Edge Browser Control series. If there's anything else you want to see how to do, now is the time. Post it in the comments. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member, and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my Tech Help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the Tech Help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, Be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.